about, if you believe in this system is what he was saying. So this is how the response starts. If you believe in this system, then you should understand how it was designed and what rights or what your rights are. The system only works if all parties play their part. Your rights are not privileges, but responsibilities. Taking responsibility for our freedom is essential from one generation to the next to ensure our kids aren't left cleaning up our mess. Common laws, he also attacked common law, by the way. Common law certainly isn't going to fix anything because it requires us first to see the crown as a position more deserving or entitled than we are. It brings the king down to our level. But we, the people, don't acknowledge or bow to any such hierarchy, and therefore our laws are not common, but natural. Natural law is what is spoken about in the Declaration of Independence. These laws are innate in all of us, immutable in their reality, undeniable in practice, and universally applied to everyone. It's the law of nature. Gravity works, plant a seed and something grows, your heart beats, your eyes see, and it's the same laws that govern your own holistic practice of healing. I'm sure you've seen in practice when the body is not in harmony with natural law, supported by the proper alignment, allowing accurate messages to be freely sent and received, fueled with proper nutrition to thrive and transmute the substance in the body into what the body needs, and cleared of blocks physically and energetically that allow for the proper application of these natural laws from the brain to the extremities, then the body can become weak, diseased, and even die. When we apply the same principles to the collective body we form as a nation, the same laws apply. Blocks in honest communication create distrust, and a failure to perform is just a symptom of an ailment that has already done more damage to the body than what is seen on the surface. If our kidneys suddenly start to play the part of our liver, we can almost guarantee a failure of the entire system. In like manner, government of the people is the people. To ensure we would always be able to self-govern, our founding fathers wrote the Constitution to allow a body of officials to be seated who would act according to the will of the people. The Constitution governs the corporate structure and its employees to ensure our freedom and protect our fundamental rights. 16 Jurisprudence 177, Section 2 explains that any code or statute that violates the fundamental, unalienable rights of the people is a no law, meaning it is neither applicable or enforceable. Because the corporate government is responsible to manage the equity, their courts are justified to apply penalties that impact their business so long as we willingly enter into contract with them. However, if the bylaws they've created violate our fundamental rights, then we are not bound by them, nor are we even allowed to enter into such a contract as it violates our natural rights and our natural responsibilities. The responsibility of being human comes with the burden of managing a gift that we call life. We therefore are obligated to manage the body which we have assigned to govern our interests. Over time, this responsibility has been forgotten due to a lack of education, slothfulness, and indifference. Nevertheless, we are bound by the laws of nature, as every action, even the failure to act, has a reaction. Our First Amendment right states that we have the right to peaceably assemble, to petition the government to redress our grievances. Contrary to popular indoctrination, this has nothing to do with picketing or gathering to voice our problems. This means that we can organize members of the collective territory, make decisions about how things will operate, what the consequences will be for behavior outside of these guidelines, and decide what is best for our respective communities. This practice allows us to form a grand jury when our elected officials have overstepped their authority, and to dictate what programs we participate in. Further description of these rights is defined by the Nuremberg Code, which requires informed consent, the full disclosure of the risks and benefits of any practice being imposed on us. Informed consent requires that the individual comprehends the full scope of any state guidance and has the right to participate or not without consequence. By begging officials who only have authority because of our permission, choice, and election to change their mind on an issue that they do not have the right to perform in the first place, surrenders our power and responsibility to manage our own affairs. It undermines the system we claim to believe in because we don't understand how it works. Fortunately, the Constitution does not allow for us to enter into a contract that surrenders this responsibility. We are lawfully bound to protect our own rights, our fellow man, future generations, by treaty to protect the interest of those who came before us, allowing us to cohabitate peacefully on the land, and by contract to manage the employees we have set in place to make decisions on our behalf. Pandering to the criminal cartel currently enacting an overthrow of our government, who have used their bylaws to label us as cattle, do not operate within the limitations of their own oath, and blame us for the nightmare that they have created is a futile endeavor that is used to prevent us from taking lawful action to remove them from positions of temporary authority. This is an extermination program that is well planned, carefully executed, and heavily supported by deep pockets. To continue to play along, pretending that it is not happening, is an act of criminal negligence, much like a parent who knows their children are being raped, but carries on as if nothing is happening. All of our powers is in the awareness of our powers. We, as the New York Assembly, or we the people of the Assembly, are currently establishing safety committees in every county in the state because we believe in the system that has always been the original way that worked at one point in time. We understand our responsibility and refuse to willingly turn a blind eye. We have partnered with Life Force Food Solutions to compensate for aggressive acts of war that are currently in place to cause food shortages, civilian task forces to ensure that the people are protected, and we are open to working with anyone who is for the people here and now. We are the people. Our efforts are only become stronger when we work together. We cannot continue to beg for rights that can't be taken away because they have always been ours. We have to stand with the people and claim what has always been ours now. And that is from the New York Assembly.